Morning, everyone. Welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. We have rounds of severe weather likely early to midweek, especially across the southern plains. We'll get into those details, followed by your Memorial Day weekend with the temperature and precipitation forecast update in this video. And then we'll look ahead to early June preview as well with temperature, precipitation, and the severe weather forecast moving into early June later on in today's video. Looking at the upper level weather pattern here today, we do have a ridge building across southern Canada and the northern United States, and this will remain parked across southern Canada and the northern United States through the majority of this week, going all the way through at least the Wednesday, May 24th timeframe. And what this will do is actually promote warmer temperatures, especially across the Great Plains, the upper Midwest, and much of the Mississippi Valley region. And starting off today, these are your high temperatures. We'll be into the low and middle 80s across parts of the northern plains, down into the 70s across the central plains, and then back into the 80s. We go into Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi this afternoon. And really, the majority of the eastern United States will be very comfortable 70s, 80s later on today. And then as we go into the middle of the week, we're watching a backdoor cold front moving in from the north and east out of Ontario, Canada, and into the Great Lakes region and the upper Midwest. And what this will do is actually cool our temperatures off by midweek just slightly on Wednesday, May 24th. We'll be back down into the 60s with winds off of Lake Michigan here into portions of Chicago, Milwaukee, and Green Bay, Wisconsin, and even some cooler temperatures up here into the Duluth, Minnesota region, only topping out into the 50s with the cooler waters there off the lake of Lake Superior. But as you go further inland, we are going to see middle 80s across the majority of the lower Midwest, the Missouri Valley, and the Mississippi Valley region during the middle of the week. And then we start to rebound those temperatures as we turn those winds back around to the southwest on Friday across the majority of the Great Lakes region. So the cooler weather will not be there long, but we will be warming up for the majority of the country going through this week. Now we do have storm chances to get to. Getting to today's storm chances, there is a slight risk of severe weather in especially this yellow shaded zone. That's a level 2 out of 5 on the scale here. This covers the majority of the Texas Panhandle here and portions of far western Oklahoma. So from Amarillo down to Lubbock, down to Midland, Texas, and then eastbound there towards Abilene and Wichita Falls. We could be seeing some strong to severe storms later on today. This does also include the threat for an isolated tornado or two if you do live into the Oklahoma Panhandle, and especially down here around the Amarillo area, Childress, and then down into the Lubbock, Texas region as well, into the Texas Panhandle. So timing out the storms today, noon time frame, there's nothing to worry about here through the morning and early afternoon. Just a couple of spotty sprinkles will be possible across western Kansas, down into western Oklahoma through the morning and into the early afternoon. But as we get through peak daytime heating, we will be watching a little bit of a dry line back here bisecting the Texas Panhandle region. The western Panhandle will see drier dew points into the 30s. The eastern Panhandle will have dew points into the 50s, if not approaching 60 degrees later on today. And this will be enough to provide the lift for thunderstorms late afternoon, early evening. This is 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and we have scattered supercells developing from southwest Kansas down through the Oklahoma, Texas Panhandle, and even parts of far west Texas near the Fort Stockton region as we go through this evening hour time frame. Then as we go through after sunset and toward the midnight time frame on Tuesday, we'll see these storms slowly drift from west to east, getting into western Oklahoma here, west of Oklahoma City, getting in toward the Lawton, Fort Sill region, Wichita Falls, down towards portions there west of Dallas-Fort Worth, but they will not survive further to the east towards the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and the reason being is they will run out of energy as they do so. But I would appreciate if you guys are still with me on the video. Definitely press the like button, the thumbs up button down below. Definitely much appreciated. It helps to get all this weather information out to as many people as possible. And if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. It's free to do, and you get all of these detailed weather breakdowns each and every morning at 9 a.m. on this channel. This does include southern Canada, the United States, and the tropics. on this channel as well. So definitely be sure to subscribe down below if you have not already. But going into Tuesday, I promise you this is a different map. We have another slight risk across northwest Texas, getting up into the Texas Panhandle, this time from Amarillo down through the Childress region, getting in towards Wichita Falls and Abilene, Texas as we go into Tuesday. And this does also include a 2% chance of a tornado or two from Amarillo all the way eastward towards Abilene and Wichita Falls there on Tuesday. And you can see the dry line setup will be there. Dew points will be a little bit more elevated on Tuesday into the 60s across Oklahoma and down into Texas. So again, noontime frame through much of the morning, early afternoon, maybe a couple of isolated showers and storms. These will likely not be severe, and the highest coverage of that will be likely found up into northern Oklahoma during that early Tuesday time frame. But as we go through peak daytime heating, we watch the dry line back to the west here from the Texas Panhandle down into west central Texas, from Amarillo down there toward the Lubbock region. Will blow up with some supercells late afternoon, early evening. This is around the 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time frame, and then this will race eastward. A little bit more energy on Tuesday to work with, and I do think a little bit more wind shear as well. So this could develop into what we call an MCS, or a mesoscale convective system, as it pushes across northwest Texas and tries to push eastward toward the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Now, if this does become outflow dominant, I do think parts of this does get into the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex area. However, it will be running out of energy as we get into more of an unfavorable time of day for severe weather. This is midnight on Wednesday morning, and also it's going to be outrunning a lot of the stronger instability that will be building up across central Texas. So we'll continue to watch this going in toward the midweek time frame. But even on Wednesday, again, another marginal risk in the dark green area here, right off of the Front Range here from southeastern Colorado down into northeastern New Mexico, southwest Kansas, getting into the Texas-Oklahoma Panhandle, and down into northwest Texas as we get into midweek on Wednesday, May 24th. Primarily damaging winds and hail, but an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out going into Wednesday either. And looking at the heavy rain setup, the total rainfall accumulation from today all the way through late week on Thursday, May 25th, we will be seeing our fair share of beneficial rains across the central and southern plains, especially near the Red River here near Oklahoma and Texas. We will be seeing a couple areas over 1, if not 2 inches worth of rain throughout the week. We also will be seeing some heavier rain down here into southern Georgia, southeastern Alabama, and much of the Florida Peninsula as well. And this will be feeding into our flash flooding potential. Now, it's only a marginal risk across the southern plains here today into Tuesday, as well as the southeast into Alabama, southern Georgia, and Florida, but this turns to a slight risk for flash flooding as you get into southeastern Georgia and northeast Florida from Savannah, Georgia, down into the Jacksonville Beach region as we go into that Tuesday, May 23rd into Wednesday, May 24th time frame. And the reason being, look at these rainfall totals as we go through the week, especially with most of this falling within a 24 to 48 hour period from Monday, Tuesday, and really into Wednesday time frame. A lot of this will be falling into southern Georgia, southeastern Alabama, and much of Florida, with 1 to 3 inches of rain with localized higher amounts possible during this period across this region. So definitely watch out for some flash flooding if you do live across the southeast United States. But going through this upcoming weekend, it is a holiday weekend, so we're going to be looking at the temperature and precipitation trends. First, at the temperatures, we do have the ridge continuing to remain locked in place across southern Canada and the northern United States, with a trough on either side of the country. We have a trough just off the west coast here, and we have a trough down here across the southeastern United States on Saturday, May 27th, and that largely remains the case going into the holiday itself on Monday, Memorial Day on May 29th, with a trough on either side of the country. It tries to resemble more of an omega blocking pattern, and that does remain the case going probably beyond Memorial Day as well. So looking at the temperatures here on Saturday, we will be warming up, especially with the highest of the temperatures across the Midwest down through the Mississippi Valley. We will be into the 70s and 80s. Very comfortable start to the holiday weekend on Saturday. We'll warm up a little bit more, especially into the middle and lower Mississippi Valley, with some 90s being felt down here near the Shreveport region, Baton Rouge, getting in toward New Orleans, so definitely heating up on Sunday. But then watch the heat build and surge northward into southern Canada and the upper Midwest on Monday, Memorial Day itself on May 29th, with more widespread 80s and 90s pulling farther north. So Chicago, Green Bay, getting up into the Twin Cities region, Bismarck, Fargo, all you guys up to the north will be seeing warmer temperatures and heating up in a big way as we get into the holiday itself. Now, looking at the precipitation trends from Saturday, May 27th through Wednesday, May 31st to round out the month of May, it does look a lot wetter and more active across the western two-thirds of the country, across California, getting through Nevada here, much of the central Rockies, and then parts of the western high plains. Underneath that ridge across the Mississippi Valley, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast will be trending slightly below average with our precipitation, and then a bit of a trough down here across the eastern United States. We'll be seeing slightly above average precipitation, especially into eastern Virginia and the eastern Carolinas to round out the month of May. So taking a look at the precipitation, now we're not going to be going through the hourly forecast because it is a bit too far out to go through the specifics, but we will be giving you the big picture here, is that on Saturday, May 27th, we will be seeing storms firing up across the western high plains from the western Dakotas down through western Nebraska, right off the Front Range there, just east of Denver into eastern Colorado, and then all the way south to the Rio Grande Valley on Saturday. The same setup basically as we go into Sunday as well. A lot of the same areas will be seeing showers and storms here, and then the same thing holds true on Monday, Memorial Day. So again, a lot of the pattern going into this upcoming holiday weekend remains the same. We'll just copy and paste the weather pattern across those areas that we have the rainfall on Saturday to Sunday, and then from Sunday to Monday. So definitely a very stagnant weather pattern that we will be in for the holiday weekend. Now, with that said, my severe weather forecast for the entirety of Memorial Day weekend from Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday, Memorial Day itself, I do think it's possible across the central and southern plains from Nebraska, eastern Colorado, down through Kansas, Oklahoma, and into north and northwest Texas during this period, primarily with damaging winds and large hail, but I cannot rule out a couple of tornadoes. We will be fine-tuning this in the coming days, so definitely stay tuned for that. But we will be seeing some beneficial rain, so unfortunately it coincides with the Memorial Day weekend holiday itself, but we do see some rains across western Kansas. That's where we have the more of extreme and exceptional drought. We have more decent rains across western Oklahoma into west Texas, the Texas Panhandle, and then even further north across the Dakotas as well. And then you see nothing for precipitation across the majority of the Midwest, the Great Lakes region, or the Northeast. That is the influence of that high pressure and the high pressure ridge across those regions. We will also be seeing some heavier rain with that trough across Virginia, getting down into the Carolinas during that holiday time frame from Saturday, Sunday, and into Memorial Day on Monday as well. But like I said, this will be helping out, putting a little bit of a dent that we need into the drought across western Kansas, down into western Oklahoma and Texas as well. So any little bit of rain does help. And as we go into the early days of June, going through June 4th, we still see that pattern really locked in place, where we have the ridge farther to the north, a little bit more troughing underneath that across the desert southwest there, from California into the Four Corners region, and then down eastward across the Dixie Alley region and the southern plains. But we have the active weather pattern right smack there in the middle of the country across the central plains, going from May 28th through June 4th. And I am concerned for severe weather setups as well during this period. So right around May 28th, give or take a day or so, these are some of the Cape value trends. This is your convective available potential energy. This is thunderstorm fuel, and you do see it starts to really get a little bit stronger there, especially into the southern plains from Kansas down into Oklahoma and Texas during that late May time frame, and it really strengthens going into the first few days of June around the June 4th time frame, especially into Oklahoma and North Texas down here. So I do think it's possible during that May 28th through the June 4th time frame for severe storms, again damaging winds, large hail, the primary threats with isolated tornadoes, the secondary threat here from portions of the Central Plains as far north as southern South Dakota, and then all the way south into North Texas, and perhaps as far east as Arkansas there into north central Louisiana and western Mississippi during that period. We also will be fine tuning this in the coming days. And then going beyond that into the second week in June before Father's Day, this goes all the way through June 11th. You do see that pattern starts to be a little bit further to the north. We see that ridge build further to the north and more troughing coming in off the west coast. So that means, again, more of an active pattern across the northern Rockies and then northwest flow all the way down across the Great Plains as well, with the green anomaly showing up. That is active weather during that time frame. And so from June 4th through June 11th, that is where the primary instability will be. That's our surface-based CAPE, or convective available potential energy, with the strongest values likely showing up from Nebraska down through Kansas, Oklahoma, and into central and northern Texas during that period. So that is where I will be seeing more of a likely zone for severe weather, from Nebraska, getting into parts of Colorado there, especially northeast Colorado, getting through Kansas, Oklahoma, and parts of North Texas near the Red River, with more of a possible category for severe weather, outlining that in the yellow as far north as the Dakotas, and possibly as far east as central Iowa, getting closer to Des Moines there, getting closer toward the St. Louis area, maybe just to your west as we get into the second week in June. So primarily as well, during this period, this will be damaging winds, large hail, and followed by isolated tornadoes. We will be keeping an eye on that as it does get closer. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want additional weather forecast updates in addition to this channel, hit the description down below and follow me on Twitter at hweather420. I definitely appreciate it. I do update on there very frequently, so definitely would appreciate hearing some more followers on that platform. But thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. All the people who support this channel, again, very much appreciated. Make sure if you like the video, press the thumbs up button down below. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to all of those later on today. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new, and hit the notification bell to get all of my daily weather forecast updates on this channel. Have a great Monday, a great start to the work week, everyone, and I will see you all in the next video.